I actually paid a nigga on Dirk's label for a feature. I got that song in the tuck. Like Jack Harlow, for example. Like that's a white boy who you can tell understands maybe not our lives,
Yeah.
maybe not our plight, but he appreciates our culture. I be liking that. Like when I be seeing like a little white boy like really spitting some like Nudie or like Dirk or something like that. I be like some Vaughn. I be liking that shit. Like go ahead, young nigga. Like, I really just had to post on Instagram and shit that I'm not doing no more free features, except for if we was locked in already.
Yeah.
If you YTN or if we been doing music or if I was been supposed to get in the studio with you or something like that. Like I'll do a free feat or a free vid, but like at this point it's like you gotta make this shit make sense a little bit because people think that, oh, you a rapper, like, why this image is not free.
Yeah.
I'm not getting these clothes like these other rappers, these big sign rappers. They getting all these clothes
for free
and stuff like that. Like everything you see me in, I'll be buying that shit.
Yeah.
So like this shit gotta start making sense. You know what I'm saying? These are investments on an image and investments on studio time, investments on cover art, videos, stuff like that. These are all investments in yourself.
Yeah.
As the same way as a BBL might be an investment to a OnlyFans girl. Yeah. Like these are investments in yourself that these shits need to end up paying off. So like features, like if you will reach out to me from just hearing my music and say I want you on my music, then that means that I have something that is worth something. Yeah. So pay me what I'm worth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to jerk nobody, you feel what I'm saying? I'm not trying to extra tax nobody, but at the end of the day, like this shit is all about knowing your worth, because if you don't know your worth, you let other people decide it. Yeah. I'ma decide my worth before I let the next nigga decide my worth.
For sure.
For sure.
And I think that's like a concept that people struggle with. And I came to this conclusion a couple weeks ago, maybe like a couple months ago, when I took the hiatus from Instagram or the internet. I didn't get on the internet for 45 days. And I came to, because I was trying to figure out like why people wanted to pay me for my reactions when like they seem like certain videos get like 20,000, certain videos get 150,000. But like when I react to indie artists, they don't get it. Right. They don't get that much. Some of them do, you know what I'm saying? But most of them don't. Right. And I had to realize that people are actually paying for the eyeballs attracted to you, right? Or just to say like, hey, look, I had a song with him, or hey, look, this YouTube reactor that's what they're really paying for. Exactly. So I think that's like where the struggle comes in between people. But I say that to say, like, even with you and doing features, right? I feel like it's kind of, people look at the indie people or the people on the rise and they say, you're not them, so why am I gonna pay you? Right. But the thing is, like, Walmart wasn't Super Walmart all the time. Exactly. It was Walton's on the strip. They needed their community, right, to spend the money there so they can become Walmart.
So it could become Walmart, and so everybody could reap more benefits. Like, I know why people be so apprehensive about it too, because especially in this not even just music. Yeah. In entertainment period, you will get fucked. People will use you. People will sell you dreams. People will take advantage of you. And so I feel like that a lot of times that's where a lot of the apprehension comes from, with just like from just flat out being willing to pay a nigga, because like I've paid a nigga for a feature and watched that man go in the booth and straight bullshit the feature I just paid for, and that made me understand, like, oh, okay, so this is why motherfuckers be apprehensive to pay for a feature from a nigga who they didn't, like, a Lil Durk feature, you know Durk gonna slap that hoe. Yeah. Or you know Durk being on that hoe gonna make it slap. Yeah. Like you paying, I actually paid a nigga on Durk's label for a feature. I got that song in the tuck, named OTF Timo. Shout out Timo. But Timo, I'm gonna keep it 100. You came in and bullshitted the verse. Yeah. Like, and I didn't even put it out. Yeah. Because the people who I'm playing it for is like, this shit hard, but that verse at the end, you paid for that? And I'm like, he showed me love. Like, I met him in the gas station. He fucked with me. He did the feature for the low. But at the end of the day, Well, I only say that to say, like, I feel like a lot of apprehension comes from not knowing what you're getting for your money when you're working with a more independent, less established artist. And I can understand that myself because I'm an independent, less established artist.
Yeah.
So I understand, you know, how that works. But I know if I was to go hit a independent artist, upcoming artist that was ahead of me, I would have that respect to, if he is gonna charge me, all right, we'll do that business and do it like that. Like, it's all about, respecting people's worth and respecting people's time and their craft.
I think you said something important that played into that fact though, because I don't know him, right? So, but what I can say is maybe he's somebody who's rapping for the hobby, right? You're somebody who said, like, back in high school you fell in love with the craft, and I feel like that's what in entertainment there are overnight successes that are just playing, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, when I did YouTube, I tried to put people on YouTube. Hey, here, this is the formula. They didn't take it as seriously as I did because it wasn't their dream.
Right.
So if they were to go charge people to do something, they probably would, because they're not in love with the craft of doing it.
Exactly.
Right. So sometimes that could be just what happens. But like you said earlier, also, it comes down to understanding or communication. Like, bro, listen, I'm not really a rapper, bro. I do this for fun because Dirk's my man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the logistics of his relationship.
And that would have been fine if he would have told me that. Like, yo, I mean, the verse wasn't terrible, so it wasn't no shit where I was like, yo, you gotta re-record that, I'm not paying. But it was just like, I know you didn't just let me wash you on this song like that. Like, you don't even care.
Yeah.
Like, that was more of what it was. Like, cause as a rapper, I know if I'm getting in the studio with a nigga who has way less accolades than me, and he come and wash me on this song, and I did my verse first.
Yeah.
He heard the song was done. All he had to do was input verse here.
Yeah.
Boom. And for me, I'm like, you gonna let me wash you on the verse like that? Like, you obviously just don't care.
Yeah.
So that's where it wasn't like it was like, oh, this verse is whack. Like, it wasn't that it was whack. It was like the whole song was such a tempo and energy, and like the bars was going, and it was just like, you're not supposed to let a nigga wash you like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But, to each his own. Like, everybody feels different about what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Just like you said.
So what was your latest show that you've had, like, to date?
My latest show was the show I did at me and Jose. Shout out Jose Mudd. We did a show at I forget what bar that was, but it was a white bar. It was a whole bunch of white folks.
Yeah.
And this is when I had no videos out. I had no songs on any DSPs. I had like 2 songs out on SoundCloud. But niggas was fucking with him, so we performed, and that shit was lit because he was the bigger artist at the time. So like, it was like fun.
Yeah.
It was like fun. Like, I was recording, I was turning his shit up, like he was turning my shit up. Like, we was like, it was real good chemistry, that show. That was my favorite show. That was the most fun I had at a show. And I got to play with the white people and shit. Like, white people turn up. Like, yeah, I liked it that.
I think that's another thing that people I've seen in the internet. Like, there's this big disconnect between like hip hop and like letting white people be involved. I don't necessarily agree with that. I feel like it's a fictitious narrative.
For sure. That's us trying to get back at them for not letting us be rock stars.
Oh,
like that's, I feel like that's a black community getting back at white people for there only being one Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, so now there can only be one Eminem, nigga.
Yeah.
Like, fine. Like, if that's how we gonna do it. Nah, I'm playing. I just feel like culture, like, you can, like Jack Harlow, for example, like, that's a white boy who you can tell understands maybe not our lives, maybe not our plight, but he appreciates our culture.
Yeah.
So it doesn't come off as a white boy trying to just like some Beastie Boy shit or something like that.
Or like people that's trying to come in to just capitalize off of what it is.
Just cap off shit, like a Slim Jesus or something like that. You remember Slim Jesus?
Yeah.
Like, nah, man, we're not doing that. So I think, but I do definitely want more inclusion of every race and community into hip hop, because we already the number one genre in the world.
Yeah.
So imagine if we had that inclusion of as different types of music have, like pop music
Yeah.
or something like that. Like imagine everybody listened to Dirk when he dropped something, or
Yeah.
everybody listened to how everybody listened to Adele when she just dropped her shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine if it was like that for Ye.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The only person who was really like that for is Drake, and it's because he's Drake.
Yeah.
But like, as far as white people in the culture, I think when there's more like a Caucasian friendly artist, like there's more like anarchy attached to the music, less than like street shit, like Playboy Cardi and Travis Scott and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of artist that white people more gravitate towards as a mass, race.
Yeah.
And then there's those, white folks or just whatever race besides African American, brown people or whatever. They like the drill shit, like, because it's the opposite of their life. So like
Yeah.
it's intoxicating to them. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And honestly, I be liking that shit. Like
Yeah.
I be liking that. Like when I be seeing like a little white boy like really spitting some like nudie or like Dirk or something like that. I'll be like some Vaughn. I'll be
Yeah,
liking
it's
that shit. Like go ahead, young nigga. Like,
Yeah. I
that
think
shit be
because
fire.
they get a chance to live a lifestyle that like they may see on video games and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But the reason I think like a Travis Scott or like a Playboy Cardi is more relevant to that culture is because like that's their life, right? I try to explain to people, especially like, you know what I'm saying, hood rappers, there's a ceiling, right? Because if I were to ask you what percentage of the world do you think is, or America is the hood, like it's not a
Like
big percentage.
30%, maybe 20%.
Yeah, so you're making music that most people probably don't relate to.
Don't relate to, and if they gravitate towards it, it's just because it's different. It's
Yeah.
just because it's something where they don't come from, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
me, I be liking, like, one of my favorite songs is You Belong With Me.
Oh yeah.
Taylor Swift. Like,
Okay.
I don't relate to that shit, man, but like I like it because it's like the complete opposite of what anybody would think that I like.
Yeah.
And like I like it. Like I like that song. Like T Swift going crazy on that whole, like, whatever. Like I feel like we should stop making people feel like why do people be ashamed to like music?
Yeah.
Like you should never be ashamed of what you like. Like you should never be ashamed to tell somebody like, yeah, that new T Swift joint is bubbling. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be afraid
Ed
to
Sheeran
tell-
slap.
that Ed Sheeran slap. Like that new Adele is going. Like that's okay. Like you can explore. You can be a fan of rap, a diehard rap fan, and still explore other genres. There's so much music out here, man.
Yeah.
And especially for rappers, that shit is gonna expand your reach.
Yeah.
If you can make a murder kill ass song, and then make a lovey-dovey ass song, and then
Yeah.
make a different type of, when you can be appeal to a whole bunch of different artists because of a whole bunch of different audiences because of the music that you've exposed yourself to. Like you would never know how to make a ballad if you ain't listened to a ballad ever.
Exactly.
So for artists, I think artists should study. If you do music, study music. Like
Yeah.
like you can't get no high ranking position at a label unless it's some nepotism shit without taking a music history class in college or something like that. Like you gotta know, you don't know where you going if you don't know where you came from.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of know the history. Like even if you know how to put words together in your head like a motherfucker, you gotta know why hip hop is it. Why do we do this like this? Why do niggas rap in the park and freestyle? Where did this come from? Somebody did this. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a whole history behind this. So
Yeah.
like I feel like artists gotta tap into that. Like